welcome our veterans with a warm round of applause. Welcome all veterans! Thank you for coming. Good morning. We would like to welcome everyone to Milcon Elementary School's 9th Annual Veterans Day Assembly. We will start our program by presenting the colors of our great nation with the singing of our national anthem performed by Army Reserve Specialist Nicole Tamburo. Not only is Ms. Tamburo a Milcon alumni, she is also a graduate of the Lacey Township High School. Holly Newman.
Good morning. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our honored guests. We are inspired by your bravery, courage, and dedication to our country. I would also like to welcome our Central Office Administration, Dr. Clark, Mr. Decker, Mr. DeGeorge, our Board of Education members, Ms. Downing, Ms. DeSenza, board members-elect, Ms. McAvoy, Mayor McDonald, members of the Township Committee, district administrators, families, staff, and students. Welcome to our annual Veterans Day Assembly here at Mill Pond. Today, you will hear our students recognize and honor family members and friends who have proudly served our country. I would like to thank each and every one of the veterans who are here with us today, and those who cannot be here with us today. Your honor, citizenship, and bravery are unmatched. Each year on Veterans Day, I take a moment to reflect on the veterans who have touched my life. My grandfather, who served in World War II, my other grandfather, who served in Korea, and my friend Andrew, who served in Afghanistan. Their commitment to a common cause and unwavering dedication has shown me what it truly means to be a citizen of our great nation. John F. Kennedy said, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. I encourage each student to follow these words. We are a reflection of our actions, and our character is measured by our integrity. Always remember to choose kind and help a fellow student. Always remember to be the best version of yourself. I challenge each person sitting here today to share your gratitude for those who have sacrificed so much for our freedoms, not only on Veterans Day, but throughout the year. Thank you again to each of our veterans being honored today. And now I would like to introduce you to the president of our Proud Cause Club, Cooper Mick.
Good morning. My name is Cooper Mick. I am the president of Mill Pond Elementary School's very own Proud Cause Club. I would like to welcome all of our special veterans today, and I would personally like to thank them for their service to our country. Our United States veterans through the years have sacrificed for all of us in various ways. They have protected our country, our people, and our freedom. Today, we would like to honor these heroes for their unselfish courage and dedication to the United States of America. Veterans Day is recognized on November 11th each year. And today, Mill Pond has designated this day to honor our special veterans. Having all of those honored guests here with us this morning is our way to honor them. We would want you to know that we appreciate all you have done and thank you for the freedoms we enjoy. I would like to ask all of our veterans to stand up and be recognized if you are able to. Oh. Thank you. Please be seated. It is my honor to introduce Ocean County Veterans Advocate and Liaison, Mr. Bernie Snyder.
Thank you. Good morning again. I know we're a little late this year, but thank God we got it in. I want to thank everybody that's here, our veterans, and especially the Proud Cause and Mill Pond School for putting this on for us every year. This year we got something special we wanted to do. We have a veteran here that is going to be the recipient of the New Jersey Distinguished Service Medal. And we're going to make a presentation. Lieutenant Colonel Rehak is here to do the ceremony with us. And the honoree is Marine Corporal Michael Patrick Maloney. Mike. 27 November 2019, Mill Pond School, Lacey Township. Presentation in New Jersey Distinguished Medal to Corporal Michael Patrick Maloney, United States Marine Corps. Corporal Maloney was born and raised here in Lacey Township. He attended the Lacey Township schools and graduated Lacey Township High School in 1998. He then entered the United States Marine Corps, serving 4 years. He was recalled back into the Marine Corps in March of 2003. He deployed to the Southwest Asian Theater in support of enduring freedom. He was assigned to Golf Company, 2nd Battalion, 25th Marines, 4th Marine Division. His service can be described as loyal, faithful, and dedicated to the standards of the United States Marine Corps and the United States Armed Forces. Therefore, as Governor of the great state of New Jersey, I take pleasure in presenting the New Jersey Distinguished Medal to Corporal Michael Maloney. Presenting today is Lieutenant Colonel Dennis Rehak, 30-year veteran in the Marine Corps. How about we do our hoorah? Remember that? Hoorah? Hoorah! Hoorah! Oh, come on, I can't hear you. A little louder, all together. Hoorah! Hoorah! Louder! That's good. Thank you. Hey, Mike. Get a little plaque with his benefit. Lindsay McGovern.
Good morning, Milpon. I would like to share a special poem with you. Just whom would you call a veteran? A hero. I asked my mom one day. I listened very eagerly to hear what she might say. She didn't say a single word. She didn't say a single word for what seemed like several minutes. And when her answer finally came, I knew much thought was in it. A hero was someone very brave, my mom said as she began, and someone good and kind and wise, not afraid to take a stand. And most of all, a hero gives himself in love to others, someone who thinks of everybody else as a sister or a brother. I thought for many days about these things Mom said. I thought of all the folks I know, and some very good, some bad. I wasn't sure that any of them exactly fit the bill. I didn't think that any one of a hero's shoes could fill. And then, one autumn afternoon, the teacher told us all about a thing called Veterans Day. She pointed to the wall. There was a picture hanging there of children just like me, giving flowers to a soldier as he held them on his knee. The teacher told us all about how dearly veterans pay to keep our country strong and free. What a sacrifice they made. Today I live in a free land, the future is up to me. But I have the veterans to thank for all that I can be. So now when I think of heroes, I know just whom to say. They're the men and women who have served and honored on Veterans Day. We are now going to start the introductions of our very honored veterans. My grandpa did 5 tours of Korea plus 10 tours of the Vietnam War. Later in his career, he was ranked as the Senior Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps and was head of the East Coast Division. My grandfather was also a candidate under Ronald Reagan as the Commanding Sergeant Major of the entire Marine Corps. I'm losing track of everything. but today my grandfather is 92 years old and sadly could not make it here today. But he still loves his country and would do it all again. Thank you. My name is Lindsay McGovern and I'm Vice President of Mill Pond's Elementary School Proud Paws Club. I would like to talk about two veterans special to me. First, my great-grandpa, George Heitzman, who has served in the Army as a corporal in World War II. He was stationed in Germany and France and worked setting up field tracks for planes and as a fireman for planes that came down that had been hit. He was always proud to have served his country. He is not with us anymore, but we still remember and honor him. Also, my pop-up, Robert Heitzman, who is standing here with me today, served in the Army for 2 years from September 1966 to September 1968. He served as a buck sergeant in the 3rd Battalion of the 2nd Artillery in the 1st Armored Division in the Communications Section. During his time, he worked as a driver. He drove for several officers and a full bird colonel. He also worked as a battalion mail clerk and delivered all the mail for his battalion. I am proud of my papa and that he was able to serve for our country. Now Papa is retired and lives here in Lacey with my grandma, so we get to see him all the time. He helps me, my brother, and my sister get sports and rarely misses one of our games. He's the best.
I just give personally a quick thank you to all the veterans here, and for my granddaughter, and for the staff, especially Mrs. Subsey, and Ms. Anzalone. It's really nice that you guys do this for all these veterans. Thank you.
Color Sergeant, retire the colors.
Thank you, Marine Corps Color Guard. This very special veteran I am here with today is my dad, Master Sergeant Ronald Bolaire. My dad served 22 years as a United States Marine. He joined the Marine Corps immediately after graduating from high school in 1992. He retired in May of 2014. During his time of service, my dad served 2 tours in Iraq and 1 tour in Afghanistan. He was also stationed in North and South Carolina, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Virginia, California, Japan, South Korea, West Indies, and Japan. Oh, nice. He ended his time of service in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. During his time of service in the Marine Corps, my dad served as a diesel mechanic, a recruiter, in which during his time, he recruited Mr. Fisher, our dream and health teacher, and many other veterans in this room. He was also a motor transport, maintenance chef, subject matter expert, advisor to Afghan National Army, as well as a distance leading course instructor, and ended as a master sergeant. My father has several amazing memories from his time in the Marine Corps, but one of his favorite times was when he was able to raise 2 more flags over Mount Suribachi during his trip there. Him and many other honored Marines were able to raise 2 other flags. In addition, being able to help people in foreign countries have a better life by defending their freedoms. My father was awarded 12 medals and 5 ribbons. The thing he's most proud of was when he was awarded the Bronze Star for his heroic service in a combat zone. In conclusion, I think my father is a very special veteran because he spent so many years devoting his life to our country. He is the bravest person I have ever met, and also because he is an amazing father. I am so proud of him.
moment to appreciate all the veterans, in particular, my grandpa Emil Sonia, who served as a sailor in the U.S. Navy. He completed 3 tours of duty in Vietnam aboard the USS Raymond. He served from 1965 to 1969 as a radio man. Thank you, God, for serving our country.
Our next veteran, you may have met, she just sang the national anthem for us. And she pulled an all-nighter with her job with the Ocean County Sheriff's Department at a crime scene investigation. So she's probably a little tired. You did an excellent job today. All right, today I have the privilege of introducing to you Specialist Nicole Tamburo. Specialist Tamburo is a 2014 graduate of Lacey Township High School, where she was very active in the band, my band, the chorus, and drama club. Upon graduation from LTHS, Nicole attended Army Basic Training, followed by training at the Armed Forces School of Music. Specialist Tamburo currently serves in the 63rd Army Band, stationed at Seagirt, New Jersey, as part of the New Jersey Army National Guard. Nicole is also a graduate of the Ocean County Police Academy, and she currently serves as a crime scene investigator with the Ocean County Sheriff's Office, where she holds the rank of detective. As my former student, I couldn't be more proud of her and her service to our county, our state, and our country.
Hello, my name is Kaylin Severn, and I'm in Miss Mooney's 5th grade class. I'm here today to talk about my brave grandfather, Paul Ryan. Starting in just 1979, at just 17 years old, my grandpa joined the Air Force right out of high school. Because he was so young, his parents had to sign permission for him to enlist. He spent 8 years in the Air Force, 4 years in active duty stationed at McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey, and 4 years in the National Guard. While serving, my grandpa held the job titled Aircrew Life Support Technician. This means he taught pilots how to use life support equipment. He also taught pilots how to survive if they were ever shot down by an enemy. Another task my grandpa was responsible for was acting as a fake terrorist who took hostages to help train officers. After he left the Air Force, my grandpa was a union carpenter for over 30 years, and he is now retired. My grandpa is special to me because he is loving, kind, and helpful. And I think he deserves this recognition for the dedication to our country. Please give a round of applause for my grandfather, Paul Ryan.
Hi, my name is Ariana Cousins. My mom is Rachel Cousins, and she is a veteran of the Marine Corps. She told me stories about how hard the Marine Corps was, but it made her who she is today. Today, she is a preschool teacher here at Mill Pond. She is kind and caring and puts a lot of her energy into teaching her students. She also fosters and works with the animal rescue and has organized numerous gift auctions for schools and charities. The Marines taught her to pay close attention to detail and it has made her into a hard worker. When she is part of something, she makes sure she puts her all into it. She is proud to be part of Mill Pond, and I am proud to call her my mom.
Hello, my name is Megan Knight. My grandfather, Richard Knight, was inducted in the Army Reserve in May of 1965. He was honorably discharged in April of 1971. He served in the U.S. Army Reserve for 6 years. He was stationed at Fort Jackson, South Carolina for basic training and Fort Gordon, Georgia for duty. At the time of his military duty, the U.S. was involved in the Vietnam era. Vietnam started in 1955, and the U.S. ended its involvement in 1973. While in basic training, Poppy, my grandfather, got close to people but lost track of them when they got different assignments. It was physically hard, but it was also hard being away from family and friends.
1963. He served in Vietnam, the Pacific Ocean, California, Guam, the Philippines, and Australia. While he was in the Navy, he worked on an aircraft carrier, a frigate, and a tender. He worked in the engine room and used mechanical tools, and as an engineering laboratory technician, he used chemicals and analysis equipment. The thing he remembers most is serving in Vietnam and seeing a lot of water. I am very proud of my pap for being in the Navy and serving in our country for 7 years.
My veteran is my great-great-uncle Al. He started serving in 1942. He was in the Navy and served on 2 different boats. He served in the Pacific Ocean, and during World War II, they called that area the Pacific Theater. On the first boat, he worked as a baker, and on the second boat, he worked as a miner. Currently, he lives in Arizona and is 103 years old. He is very proud to have been part of the Navy and is always willing to answer questions.
Hildebrand, and today I'm going to be talking about my pop-up. My pop-up served as corporal in the United States Marine Corps from 1966 to 1970, and he was also in Vietnam. My pop-up received the Purple Heart from getting injured with shrapnel. Some things we do together are we go shopping with my Nana, and we go swimming in the summer. In the summer, my mom, my brother, and I go to my Nana and Pop-Up's house and have a barbecue and spend a day with him. I love my Pop-Up so much, and he helps me with everything. I hope you learned a lot about him. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Madeline, and this is my brother, Keenan Leopard. This is our grandfather, George Leopard. He served in the U.S. Army's Military Police Corps from 1963. He is still serving today as a civilian patriot. He was stationed in many places and worked as a military police second lieutenant. What he remembers most is his experience inside the North Vietnamese embassy in Paris, France, on special assignment on April 25th, 1970, 5 days before the Vietnam War ended on April 30th, 1975. He is now a grandpa, husband, dad, and he has 15 grandchildren. Our grandpa is special to us because he is never afraid. He taught us that there is a way to find an answer to every problem.
One of the most genuine people you will ever meet. He has faithfully served our country, and he truly loves freedom in America. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Today I'd like to talk about my grandfather, Calvin. He was in the United States Army from March 1968 until March 1971.
He served in the Republic of Vietnam as an aircraft repairman and a helicopter door gunner.
I'm here to talk about my dad. He joined the Marines in 2001 and he was 22 years old when he joined. He was deployed to Fallujah, Iraq, and he got there by a few planes and helicopters. The most memorable thing, for him was very long days and very long nights. He served for 6 years.
Hello, my name is Sean Hoff, and this is my father, and he is my brother. He served in the United States Marine Corps from 2002 to 2006 for 4 years. Let me ask you, where were you stationed in?
I was stationed all over the states: North Carolina, South Carolina, Missouri, Oklahoma, California. I did 3 islands in Japan, Iraq, and the last tour was Hurricane Katrina.
and he worked as a truck driver, cannoneer, and infantryman. Now, let me also ask you, what do you remember the most from the Marine Corps?
My fellow Marines and good time with them. I also have my recruiter right here, Mr. Volaria.
He is now retired from federal law enforcement and is learning carpentry. My father is special to me because he is my dad and he takes care of me. He also protects my family. And that is it.
In November of 1995, my dad joined the Army. My dad served in the Single Corps U.S. Army in the Special Operation Airborne Unit. When he was in the Army, he traveled to Fort Bragg in North Carolina and Camp Doha in Kuwait. What my dad remembers the most was all the running. He served for 6 years. My dad's highest rank was a sergeant. His specialty in the Army was working on computers. The only time he heard gunshots was when he was in training.
This is my close family friend Neil Island. He served in the Army from 1969 to 1971. He served in Vietnam during this time. He was stationed on a boat in a river there. Neil remembers the people he served with in Vietnam because it was a very stressful situation and he became very close to those people. After Vietnam, he was a maintenance mechanic. Neil fixed boats, did welding and plumbing. Now he's married and has 4 daughters and 4 grandkids. We have fun with Neil and his family on the boat and at the lake.
Hi, my name is Buddy McKittrick. This is my Uncle Sean. He served in the U.S. Army for 5 years. He enlisted in October 2008. My Uncle Sean did 2 tours in Afghanistan, where he earned his Purple Heart and Bronze Medal for valor, honorably discharged in December 2013. During his service, he was a combat engineer and became a sergeant in the U.S. Army.
Today I'm going to be introducing my grandfather, Dennis Bullitt. My grandfather served in the United States Army. He was stationed on Fort Rucker, Alabama. He began his service in December 1967 and served for 3 years. During those 3 years, he did 2 tours to Vietnam working as an aircraft crew chief. What he remembers the most was traveling to faraway places, meeting new people, and receiving great training.
The veteran that I brought today was my Uncle Joe. He started serving in 2008 in the Navy. He served for 8 years. He served in the United States of America and throughout Europe. He remembers making bonds the most. Thank you for helping our country.
Hello, my name is Haley Adams. I'm here to introduce a close family friend, Johnny Roth. In 2008, Johnny joined the Marine Corps. Johnny served in Iraq and Afghanistan. During his 11 years of service, he remembers being around his good friends, physical training, and learning all the time. An interesting fact about the Marines is that they serve in the air, on land, and the seas. Johnny continues to protect us because he is a police officer in Jackson Township.
My uncle is a staff sergeant in the U.S. Air Force. He has served in the Middle East, Korea, Japan, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, and Malaysia. He is a water and fuels maintenance contingency instructor. He trains airmen, soldiers, and sailors on deployment tactics and training.
Matthew has been active in the Air Force all my life. When I do see him at family parties, we don't really talk about his work. Today is really special to me. I learned a lot about him. Matthew joined the Air Force in 2001. He started as a pararescue. Their slogan is "so that others may live." This means that he usually jumps out of a helicopter to rescue soldiers who are hurt during active war and can't escape on their own. He was a teacher in survival, escape, and water survival. He was deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan, and Africa. In 2009, he signed up with the New York Air National Guard, which is what he is doing now. He is a Guardian Angel pararescue team leader. In 2013, he received 2 Bronze Stars for valor. This is a very special award. He got this with 5 other airmen because they rescued, treated, and saved the lives of other soldiers. Matthew, thank you for serving. I am glad you came here today. Everyone meet my cousin, Master Sergeant 103rd Rescue Squadron, Matthew Zimmer.
Hello, my name is Maddox White. Today I'm honoring my grandfather. He went into the Marines right from high school. He belongs to several veteran groups, including Disabled Veterans of America, and served as a vice commander in the DAV. He went on to join the police department, where he served for 25 years, retiring as a detective captain. Some activities I enjoy with my grandfather are going to the movies, going out to eat, and crabbing. Thanks to all the veterans for their service, especially my pop.
Hello, my name is Skylar Rivera. This is my father, Gerardo Rivera. He worked in the Marine Corps from 2002 to 2006 for 4 years. He worked in Quantico and worked as an IT specialist. What he remembers most is meeting a Medal of Honor winner from World War II. He is now working in the IT department for TDA. My father is special to me because he always has time to be with the family and protect them.
My name is Gabby Frazier. My father, Michael Frazier, is a major in the U.S. Army. He's been in the Army for 26 years and 19 and a half years active duty. He joined when he was 17 years old. He's gone away to Afghanistan and Iraq for work, but still manages to be the best father ever. For a while, he would drive multiple hours a day just to get to work in the morning and get back in the afternoon just in time for dinner. He rarely complained about driving because he knew my brother and I were happy with our lives back in Maryland. He made and still makes many sacrifices for our family. So we made the sacrifice for him to move to New Jersey. And yet we moved, he still has to drive a lot. I can't thank him enough for everything he does for me and the rest of our family. I love him so much, and I'm proud to call him Army veteran my father.
In the Army, my dad, Sergeant Matthew McIntyre, was Black Ops for other people in the military. My dad also got into the Army in October 2011 and has been serving for 8 years and is still serving right now. He also served here in New Jersey and in a very tiny country in Europe called Kosovo. And finally, he said, the thing my dad said he remembered most of all the time he served in the Army was the amazing friendships he made with all his friends.
My dad is Jeffrey Lund. He entered the United States Air Force in July of 1995. He was sent to Lackland Air Force Base in Texas to train in boot camp. After graduating boot camp, he was stationed to Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany for 4 years. He worked in the administration's office as well as the European Stars and Stripes newspaper of Germany. My dad then volunteered to become a drill sergeant, which was his dream since he was a kid. After an intense process and interviews, he was accepted to become a drill sergeant. My dad had to go to military training instructor school for 4 months. After graduating, my father was a military drill sergeant for the Air Force.
His job was to teach all recruits how to prepare for the service and combat in a classroom, on the field, everyday life skills. His job was very demanding, with extremely long work days. He did this for 4 years. I am honored to say that my dad served in the United States Air Force for 8 years. That is why he is my role model.
This is my grandpa, Staff Sergeant. He served in the U.S. Air Force and was in active duty for 2 years and was in the active National Guard for 4 years. He was stationed at Holloman Air Force Base in Alamogordo, New Mexico. Thank you.
He joined the Navy Reserves in 1997 as an equipment operator with disease. In 2003, he deployed on active duty in Kuwait in support of Operation Noble Eagle and Enduring Freedom. When the Iraq War started, my dad went into Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. The thing he remembers the most about Iraq are the children and how well they spoke English. My dad served in the Navy for 15 years and was a chief petty officer when he got out.
He served in the U.S. Air Force for 4 years. He was stationed in New Mexico from 1967 to 1971. He was a medic. What he remembers most is watching babies being born. Grandpa Harry is very special to me because he's a real jokester. I love him. This is my grandpa, Jeremy. He served in the U.S. Army from 1969 through 1971 for 2 years. He was in Germany for 13 months. He drove a 2-ton truck and supplied ammunition for his tanks. What he remembers most is missing his family and the very cold weather. He is now retired but volunteers at the firehouse, Station 59. My grandpa is what I call my best buddy.
My name is Alyssa Heck, and I would like to talk about my papa, Glenn. My papa got into the Vietnam War in 1963 at age 19. My papa remembers going into the Vietnam War the most, and he used a 3.5 rocket launcher during it. He went to many places like Turkey and Spain and was a military police. A scary moment he experienced in the war was being on night patrol and almost falling into a trap. He was held hostage, and because of that, my papa got leeches and had to get medical help. He finally got out of the war in 1967. My papa got many awards, like a Rising Award and a Service Medal for being in the Marines. One of my papa's favorite sayings is Semper Fi, which means always faithful. He is now 100% disabled due to Agent Orange and is in a wheelchair and uses breathing tubes. He lives in Virginia now and is living a happy life. Thank you for letting me share about my papa, and I want to thank all the veterans for their service.
stationed in Fort Knox, Fort Stale, Fort Hood, South Korea, DNC, South Korea, Camp Casey. He was a heavy artilleryman. What he remembers most was the people he met and the places he went. He is now a carpenter. My dad is special to me because he is my father and I love him. My Uncle Brian served in the infantryman in the Marine Corps from 1999 from 2004, and in the U.S. Army Guard from 2008 to present. He was stationed in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and has been to 18 different countries. He had 2 combat tours in Iraq. What he remembers most is climbing Mount Fuji and the lifelong friendship he is now a phys ed teacher. My Uncle Brian is special to me because he is a nice and helpful.
Good job.
Good morning. Thank you for letting me take a few minutes of your time this morning to talk about my father, Chief Petty Officer David Noonan. My dad's military career started when he was only 17 years old, when he proudly joined the United States Marine Corps and earned the rank of corporal. But on this very day, 35 years ago, my father started a new adventure, fatherhood, and left the Marine Corps. As the saying goes, once a Marine, always a Marine, the military is ingrained in everything he does. In 2001, my dad selflessly re-enlisted, but this time with the United States Navy, where he has risen to the rank of Chief Petty Officer. He has been on many deployments since that time, spending the majority of last year in Iraq. To anyone here who has experienced a deployment, you know how hard they can be, not only on the military member, but also on the people they leave behind. To say that I am proud of my father would be an extreme understatement, so let me say thank you to my dad, to my husband, and to all the veterans who are here today who have sacrificed so much for us. Thank you.
Please join me as we all give our veterans another round of applause. We will now have our Milk Run chorus perform for us, a song we're all familiar with entitled
extensive research on the stresses of deployment and military through an internship with a degree in psychology. She has acted as a coordinator in the Key Wives Club during the 13 Marine Expeditionary Units for the Somaliland conflict, restore hope and aid to the Kurdish refugees, Operation Provide Comfort, and currently supported her spouse's activation during Operation Iraq Freedom. Additionally, Ms. Rayhawk has been a career as a counselor, coordinator, and instructor of education and child psychology for the past 7 years at Ocean County College in Toms River, New Jersey. She has also founded her own book publishing company. The author and publisher resides in Island Heights, New Jersey, with her spouse L.T. Colonel Rehak. It is my pleasure, Mrs. Rehak.
Good morning, veterans, Principal Namick, Mill Pond faculty, staff, students, and distinguished guests. Thank you so much for having me today at your assembly. I am absolutely privileged to speak with you today. So much has happened over the years, and to celebrate our veterans today is such an important occasion. Veterans Day happens in November, as you know, and this November we look at the sacrifices, the self-service, and the courage that our veterans have had over the years to defend our country. Two famous mantras always recited by my West Point cadets was, make us choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong, and never to be content with a half-truth when the whole can be won. Also, always help us to remember to be part of something bigger than ourselves. We're here today to honor our heroes who have done just that, to remember their bravery, self-sacrifices, and to say thank you for their dedication to choosing the harder right and being something bigger than themselves. Thinking of the heroes who join us in this room today, we have a force that shows patriotism along with veterans who have had left families behind and are now only with us in spirit. I can't help but look around this assembly and feel awed as we sit in the midst of patriots who have bravely served and made the amazing sacrifices for our freedom. Thank you for answering every time duty called and for doing something bigger than yourselves. Let's have a hand. Today, I was invited by Mrs. Suxy to talk briefly about the purpose our military families serve and why I wrote the Uncle Sam's Kids series. As the wife of a military veteran for over 30 years and a mother of 3, I can attest that the fact, sometimes overlooked, but nonetheless the backbone and strength of our troops are our military families, to include their children, our Uncle Sam's kids. Terrorists attacked the Twin Trade Center towers in New York City on 9/11, and I knew at that time there would be many activations and deployments. I also realized at the time that there weren't many resources to help our children, that a deployment means that mom or dad would have to go far away to fight and defend our country's freedom. I also knew that the news would certainly bring stresses of how to deal with different emotions that children just like you might experience. My children often experienced fear, anxiety, and anger, and they needed to know that these feelings were normal. But as Uncle Sam's kids, a special group of the military, their job was to keep the home fires burning, do their routines, do well at home and in school, and continue to help out at home. I had children who were close to your ages, and I wanted to help them understand that they too are America's heroes and have a special opportunity to support our country and their families by embracing their journey when mom and dad deployed and using it to be productive. Our military children are strong because they know by doing their part at home, they are serving too. I want to thank our veteran parents for teaching our children resiliency through the everyday examples of keeping a positive outlook in times of adversity and showing them how to contribute to the ultimate cause by living a life of service and maintaining responsibilities on the home front and abroad. Our children do understand that their parents train every day to be the best soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines in the world. So when mom and dad are serving, they're confident they're going to be okay. They also know that by doing their part at home, mom and dad can concentrate on doing their part in defending freedom of the greatest country on earth. Since the first shots at Lexington and Concord, when the Revolutionary War began, American men and women have been called to duty, and so have their children and all their families. Today, there are about 1.9 million military children and 1.3 million school-age kids, just like all of you. They are experiencing the same emotions their forefathers and families did, such as anxiety, fear, and anger. Questions they may have asked is, when will mom and dad come home? Will they come home? And what is a deployment? They today are just as familiar with those fears as they were yesterday. The service members and their families we honor come from all walks of life, but they share core values of duty, honor, loyalty, and service to the country. Many of our veterans and their families did not want to leave home to fight in faraway soil, and many did not even volunteer. They went to war not because they loved to fight. They were ordinary people who responded in extraordinary ways in radical times. They rose to the country's call because they wanted to protect a nation which has provided them and all of us with so many blessings. Veterans Day was called Armistice Day at first to celebrate the end of World War I and celebrated on November 11th, 1918. As time went on, Americans engaged in conflicts like World War II and Korea. Legislature was then changed to honor all veterans from every conflict, and the holiday of Veterans Day that we celebrate today was formed. We've honored our troops, their services and sacrifices ever since, and that includes the family and the children, our Uncle Sam's kids. So on Veterans Day, and apropos with Thanksgiving being tomorrow, people all over the world gather to remember and give thanks for those who served our nation and the pride that we have as a nation. America prides itself on duty, honor, and service, and as General Douglas MacArthur said in his farewell speech to the Corps of Cadets, duty, honor, country, these three hallowed words reverently dictate what you ought to be, what you can be, what you will be. They are your rallying point to build courage when courage seems to fail, to regain faith when there seems to be little cause for faith, to create hope when hope becomes forlorn. Thank you for this gathering today. I honor our veterans, their families, our children, our Uncle Sam's kids who continue to serve our nation today. We have so much to be grateful for as a nation, so God bless you, God bless America, happy Veterans Day, and happy Thanksgiving.
Today, we are honored to have the mayor of Lacey Township along with members of our township committee. I would like to introduce to you Mayor Tim McDonald.
I have served as your mayor since January 1st, 2019. And I've been called to many ceremonies, but I stand in awe of this one. Absolutely unbelievable, incredible. To the veterans, I thank you. On behalf of the Township Committee, we thank you for your service. I have always said that our future is bright. and it's even brighter with things like this. I don't worry about the future of America, because it's in your hands, and this is going to be America's going to be great in the future, I can guarantee you that. President Kennedy once said, not ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And I will suggest to you today that these veterans here today, this country owes a debt that can never be repaid. They have sacrificed everything and were willing to make the ultimate sacrifice because that is their mission. Their mission is simple: protect this country at all costs. Whether they were a cook, a mechanic, a lieutenant, a computer technician, a 4-star general, their mission was always the same: protect this country at all costs. And tomorrow, as we gather around the table for Thanksgiving and watch a bunch of football, just think that on every continent in this country, and on every continent in this world, we have soldiers that are doing their job as we gather around. So I would ask every one of you to take a moment and just thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. Each year, members of our Lacey Township Board of Education join us for our assembly. Our Board of Education President, Mrs. Linda Downing, is here today and would like to share some words with you.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to thank all of you boys and girls for sitting so nicely for over an hour. You have been a great audience, and kudos to you. Good job. On behalf of the entire Board of Education, we'd like to thank the proud Pauls, Mrs. Substy, Mrs. Anzalone, and Mr. Snyder for once again organizing a wonderful tribute to our veterans. Boys and Girls Veterans Day is one of, if not, the most important day of the year. Today we are honoring those veterans that are here today and the men and women who have served and are serving our country now. Freedom comes with a cost. These men and women put their lives on the line so that we can be free. So when you sit down for dinner, tomorrow, Thanksgiving dinner, think about what you have here in the United States and thank these brave people. Please pledge that when you see a veteran, whether in uniform or not, please go up and say thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your service, and thank you, boys and girls, for honoring your special people in your life. I know it is not easy to get up here and speak in front of all these people, and you did a great job. Thank you, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, and God bless America.
Thank you, Mrs. Downing. Now it's time for closing remarks, so may I please have Erica and Lindsay come up.
At this time, on behalf of the proud possible, we would like to thank all of the people who helped make this assembly possible. Mrs. Holly Yannick, Milpon Elementary School Principal, Mr. Paul O'Neill, Milpon School Supervisor, our District Administration, Dr. Clark, Mr. Decker, Mr. T. George, Ms. Amos, and Mr. Zelensky, School Board President, Mr. Sean Giordano, and the members of our Board of Education, Mayor, Mr. Timothy McDonald, and members of our township.
To those who have helped today to make today so special. Mr. Joseph Rossum, our chorus director. Mr. Thunberg, our band director. Miss Seach, for working with her students to create the beautiful art displays.
setting up our assembly. Our PTA President, Miss Debbie Smith, and the Mill Pond PTA for soliciting donations and organizing the beautiful breakfast. In addition, following local businesses generously donated items for our breakfast. The Fork and River German Butcher, Lacey ShopRite, Wawa, Dunkin' Donuts, Manhattan Bagel, and the C&M Robert Gallagher Charitable Foundation. A warm round of applause for my grandfather, retired Lacey Township Detective Bernie Snyder, who advised the Proud Paws planning for today's assembly. Our appreciation to my father, retired Master Sergeant Ronald Bolaire, for helping us secure our Marine Corps color guard. Thank you to our guest author, Mrs. Angela Reha. To the many veterans here, thank you for honoring us with your service and presence. Thank you to all of our veterans and our military that serve our country, protecting us for freedom. During the month of November, make sure you take a minute to thank a veteran. It is because our veterans that we have, and so much to be thankful for. Happy Thanksgiving, Mill Pond! Now the band will be playing a special song, America the Beautiful.
Excellent job, boys and girls. Once again, can we get a round of applause for our veterans? Head back to our cafeteria, and you guys can walk right up this way. Thank you.